A very good evening, everybody. This is Gulf Harbour Radio, ZMH286, Patricia and David, on this 8th Tuesday day of July. And it started off very sunny here, but it's clouded over 100% now. And the wind has backed to the northeast. Unfortunately, the high is moving away from us. 1026. The high is dropping off to the southeast. 15 degrees. It feels colder than that. There's only 6 knots of this northeast one, but boy, go outside and you really know it is winter. 100% cloud cover, particularly when, like this morning, we had ocean fever on, and Barney told us it was 28 degrees in just anchored at Aori opposite Luganville there. Sounds a big difference. All right, we have just a bit of background for the boats that are listening. Pagean has reported in from North Minerva. They've got pretty cloudy day too, 90% cloud cover now, 16 knots from the south. Outside it looks about 2 metres swell, and 10:15, 1015 on the bar. And the octopus that they talked to yesterday, Rich talked to, wasn't there, and Michelle's talking to the octopus now outside the reef, a different one. They must have a reputation for being chatty. Okay, that will be of interest to Soy Libre and the boat. There was another boat there now. There's 2 boats, Silhouette and Pagean, and a monohull, and I forgot the name of the monohull that was going there yesterday. Andiamo, I'll give you their position. They are 394 miles to go to Minerva, but they may just go direct to Savo. Anyway, we'll see what happens. They're currently at 29 degrees, 56 south, 17738 east, on a course of 020 true, 7 knots, with 100% cloud cover, with 18220 from the south-southeast. It's been fluctuating both the speed and direction today, but it's currently south-southeast. 2.5 metre swell, or 2.5 to 3 actually, from the southeast. So that's them. So Waitiki has taken off, looks like for Tonga. And we now have Mintaka and Soy Libre to talk to tonight. Just some more news from the Texas floods. God, they were absolutely terrible. You should see it. The river rose, this is the Guadalupe River, rose 3.5 metres in 45 minutes. So, boy, it just swept everything in its path. The all-girls summer camp, Mystique, I think it was called, all 27 girls and counsellors are dead. 104 people in total dead, but there's 41 still missing. It's really, really grim, particularly as there were so many camps around, so at least half the dead are children. Okay, let's go to find Mintaka. Mintaka, Mark and Robert are on their way to Vanuatu. How copy? This is Gulf Harbour Radio.
Mintaka here, copy you loud.
Yeah, it's pretty light. I thought it might have been a bit stronger tonight, but yep, I can. It's good readability though. Mark, go ahead.
2 degrees. South, degrees, 34 minutes east. We're on a course of probably about 288. When you went right behind us, about 15 knots out of the east side. Shooting down to about 2 meters swell out of the southeast, and yeah, we're doing about 6 knots. And 4 is 1016.
Okay, I'll just do the 22 degrees south. I missed the minutes, and I will need your longitude again. Your AIS is really about 12 hours late. What is the longitude again, please? Over.
The longitude is 177 degrees 34 minutes, and the minutes on the latitude are 18. That's 18 minutes over.
Oh, you come up quite well that time. Okay, so 2218 and 17734 east. Gosh, you've gone quite well today. It must have been a bit higher than the 6 knots you've currently got, roughly. on a course of 288 true, with 15 knots of east-southeast, 2 metres southeast swell, and 1016. Gosh, quite a good course with that wind, so I bet all is well on board. Over.
Yes, all is well, and Hickfield Darwin rig, I got almost head downwind very, very comfortably, and we had a great run yesterday, just ramping along at 7 to 8 knots. Over.
Yeah, you've made some pretty good time, but the wind is a bit lighter now, isn't it? But boy, that makes it comfortable, though. You don't have to worry too much. I'll just see if David's got any comment about the future.
About the same.
Yeah, he reckons pretty much the same tomorrow. So I guess that will make you both pretty happy. So good going. Over.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting, and I'm glad to hear that confirmed. We're just kind of enjoying life out here.
Yep, well, apart from the 28 degrees at Luganville, he also reported rain showers, so I hope it improves for when you get closer. Mind you, it does rain an awful lot, which makes the place look really lush and beautiful, of course.
That's why they call it the tropics.
Yeah, that's what they call it, the tropics, says David. All right, you two have a good night, and we'll talk again tomorrow. We'll clear with Mintaka and go to Soy Libre, going to Savu Savu. Yeah, I've got some cutting in and out. I'm going to have to investigate that. It's my end. Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, I'm currently at 2 degrees 01 minutes south, 179 degrees 18 west. I'm doing 5 knots. Course is 353. Wind is maybe 15 knots. It's difficult to tell because my apparent wind, the wind coming from south-southeast, and cloud cover is probably about 25%. 1017 bar, and I got about a meter and a half swell that's coming out of the south too. Things, because the wind shifted off to the side a little bit, things are not quite as sloppy. Over.
Yeah, that's good. I think someone else this morning reported that was Andy Amo, who's reported that it's getting a little bit more civilized in the water, so that's good to hear. Yeah, and I think David will be telling you it's still down the wind strength at the 15 mark tomorrow. But anyway, I'll wait and see.
Might be more.
Might be more, says he. All right, we better wait. 2101 south and 17918 west. 5 knots on a course of 353 true, with 15 knots of south-southeast. 25% cloud cover, so you've got the best deal of the day up there. 1017 on the bar, and 1 to 1.5 metres south-southeast swell. I'll just pass the microphone.
Oh. Okay. All right. Hello to.
Well, this is for Soy Libre.
Oh. Well, actually, you are part of what I was going to talk about. So how am I going to do this? I'm looking at what the weather is in Fiji for tomorrow. Now, I know you're not in Fiji yet, but southeast 15 to 20 for Fiji, and the same really for Thursday. However, south of Kandabu, expect southeast about 20, all the way down to 25 south, maybe even as far as 28 south. And this is really for me, and the reason I'm saying that is the isobars look fairly compressed there. So I think your report of the wind now is a little bit lighter than what I thought, but might be closer to 20 tomorrow. So we'll wait and see what you have to say. Over.
And then jibbing, so I can reach the jib and the mizzen and continue on southeast.
No problem.
Yeah, that's fine. Be safe, especially at night. Still can't talk with my tooth. Okay, here's the chief.
No, you kids carry
Oh,
on.
keep going. Okay. Well, then the general weather, taking a look at the synoptic picture for today, we've got a very, very strong high to the southeast of New Zealand. The center is roughly at 50 south, quite a ways south, not normal for this time of the year, but it happens. 50 south and the dateline, and a central pressure of 1039. Now, the high ridges north with the axis roughly about 170 degrees, roughly 172 east, let's call it. If you run up that line, that's pretty much the axis of the ridge. And that reaches all the way up to 25, 24 south. So that's the reason I think that you're going to have a little bit more wind than what you've got now. Then we see a 997 depression centered at 30 south and 160 west. And that's not to worry anyone really. And finally, another depression, which is going to worry us. That's in the mid-Tasman with its front almost over New Zealand by lunchtime tomorrow. So it's going to be more wet weather on the way for good old New Zealand. So looking at the weather for Tongatapu through tomorrow, southeast 10, maybe gusting up to 15, fairly light air. And in Minerva's, Patricia had south 16 thanks to Fijian. The models are calling off just a little bit more. And then Thursday, southeast, maybe 13, 15 like that, and gusts up to maybe even 18. And Friday, it looks like easterlies, about 10 to 15 knots. Although the Australians think southeast, about 10 to 15. So not the same strength wind, just slightly different direction. So we'll see whose model is more accurate. And I already gave you Fiji, so that takes care of that. And again, the reason that it's more wind south of Kindavu is because of that high. And again, we'll get the actual reports and find out which model is more accurate. So that's about it for me. So I will pass it back to the chief. I can't talk.
And I've got some report from Y2K number one fan, they reckon, and I'm sure that is correct. From the top of the Usawas, and boy, they are making us so envious. They've sent some beautiful pictures of white sand stretching for miles. Anyway, up there, 1011 on the bar, 11 knots of east-southeast, and partly cloudy. And he asks, what about the trough on Fiji Saturday, Sunday?
I'll take a look.
He's going to take a look at various things. Just stand by there, Max. What else have I got to tell you? Probably nothing much. We've still been in the saga here of finding a tyre for our car. You know, you have this lovely car and with only 3 tyres on it and no tyre for that model available in the country. Evidently, Bridgestone have been denuded of tyres because everyone's blowing them up going over the crazy potholes in the New Zealand roads. So we've been trying to find a tyre to get back in business, and we can find a tyre in America, no problem at all, cheaper than here, but they want $1,700, that is correct, $1,700 US to ship 2 tyres to New Zealand. So needless to say, that's out of the question. We'll wait our 3 weeks to get one from Australia. Anyway, that was just a fill-in to wait while David is now going to take the microphone to talk about the trough in Fiji on Saturday/Sunday.
Well, actually, I'm going to add to the Bridgestone folk. I know you guys don't care about this because you're on a boat, but if you had a car and you needed a Bridgestone tire, and the one for our car is kind of special, I suppose. But anyway, they will not sell a tire of the size that we need unless you actually have a number plate, which means that you actually have a car that needs that tire. That's how bad everything is in terms of supply and demand. So they will not sell a tire unless you can prove that you have a car that will fit it. So yeah, interesting. So back to the trough. Uh, yeah, well, it's kind of complicated. From what I can see right now, between the 13th and the 14th is where it looks pretty grim for the Fiji area. I see quite a bit of thunder and lightning coming from this system as well. However, prior to that, if you look at maybe early on Sunday, there's scattered bits of convective activity around the Fiji area. Let's take a look at Saturday too. Yeah, not much there, but early Saturday, yes, a lot of scattered uh, clouds, scattered precipitation, showers, that sort of thing. However, late on Sunday into Monday morning, early Monday morning, it's going to be pretty, yeah, quite a bit of convective activity. And the reason for that is the winds are on one side of the system, the winds are going to be northeast. On the other side, they're going to be southwest, maybe west to southwest. So they're going to collide, two different weather systems coming from two different highs, one well to the west, one to the east. And they're all merging right over Fiji on that time frame, 13th, 14th. Sorry, I'm having a hard time enunciating here. So late Sunday, early Monday, by early I mean like 2 in the morning. So it'll wake you up with thunder. So that's at least what I think is going to happen. When we get a little bit closer, we'll see if the models are correct in this. This is mostly coming from EC. GFS has got it a little bit further to the west, and I always look at the Australians for this, and they are fairly in agreement with EC. So I'm going to go with what EC has to say. So that's late Sunday, early Monday max. Over.
Okay. Alrighty, so hopefully that came through on the streaming okay. I'll just move the microphone again. So now I'll go to the radio. Is there anybody with any questions or comments? Please call now.
Yeah, can't you find a tire?
I tell you what, Andy, we tried to get a tyre off one of the cars that was sitting in the showroom, and no dice. They wouldn't do it, and because of the shortage of tyres with Bridgestone. I mean, this has been going on it's not just recent. So why Bridgestone haven't ordered more tyres and got them in the country, God only knows. It's just a malfunction of the brain. Looking at their usage, how many they're selling, they should have actually got more in. But
I think
yeah.
New Zealand's a pipsqueak country.
Yeah, because David said New Zealand's such a pipsqueak country, everyone else has precedence, and that's why they're in Australia, but not here. Over.
Yeah, okay, so question for Dave. What time approximately, what time approximately am I looking for to develop, over?
Okay, so you're looking at it by then, but you're going to be in Savu. The trouble is I'm having a struggle. You've got a really good signal, but it's cutting in and out with me because of the internet problem.
What's the question?
The question is what time, but what time, where are you talking about, over?
Is the wind going to develop tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening? to 20 knots.
Oh, okay. You're looking at your passage and looking at when it's going to develop quickly. Well, I tell you what, you'll have to just sleep lightly. Hang on, he's having a look. This is the trouble with these single-handers. You can't just leave it to the person on watch, can you?
No, the situation for you, leaving from where you were up to 707, are the isobar situation. So I'm looking at, say, tomorrow at lunchtime about where you are. And the winds to me look basically coming out of the southeast. And the way the isobars are set, most of the models are talking about 15 knots, roughly 15, but I think it's going to be a little bit closer to 20. But there's no rain in this. There's cloud and so forth, but you don't have to worry about fronts or anything of that nature. So it's just the fact that it's a very, very strong high to the south and compression of the isobars. That's all it is. Hopefully you won't get as much wind as that. Look at Thursday, and yeah, their models are picking it up on Thursday. They're showing winds up to 18 to 20. So it's going to be a good sail for you, really. I don't see any real problem. Over.
Right on. Thanks, Dan. I always appreciate your input, and that's it's going to be a good sale. I think bring down visiting Jim, and I'll be doing the magic carpet ride over.
Yeah, well, it is a good direction for you, and hopefully it doesn't get too strong. But I mean, take a bit off that with the direction you're going anyway. So.
What's the ETA for 7?
Yeah, what was your ETA? Remind us, over.
I was thinking probably, I told them in my 48-hour notice Thursday or Friday.
Yeah, okay. So you can certainly afford to be reefed pretty well to still get in there on Friday, looking at where you are now. So, look, sounds good. I'll just wait.
Winds are probably going to be...
Hang on, I'm going to pass the microphone.
So looking at Friday, if it happens to be Friday, it looks like east-southeast to me, and right in that 20-knot area. So, yeah, it shouldn't be a problem for you. So there you go. Have a great sail. Over.
It is a pleasure sailing right now. Yesterday was a little wish-washy, but today is just a beautiful day. Over.
Yeah, it's good that the seas have settled down. Boy, they've been up and not very pleasant for a good week or 10 days, haven't they? Okay, well, clear with Soy Libre. Is there anybody else? No, nothing heard. If anyone wants the frequency, it's all yours. We are clear, and we'll be back again tomorrow.